Dinosaur Rider Wiki.
Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here, continuing my ranking mini-series videos where I'm ranking the Dino and Ninja Sentai and Rangers. We have ranked the Dino and Ninja Sentai series, now we're moving on to PR with my rankings of the, so far, 3 Dino-based series. I will, in all likelihood, update this eventually when the Ryusoulger adaptation hits, but this is a ways off, so I might as well do this video now. Just FYI at the beginning, for MMPR's ranking on this list, I'm only really considering Season 1, since that primarily adapted Zyuranger, and MMPR as a whole is an interesting beast, and I might talk about it a little bit as I get into the rankings. But let's go ahead and dive right in, speaking of, because this is the perfect way to dive in. So, coming in at last place is Mighty Morphin Season 1. So, this is one of my least favorite seasons, period. This is the first season. I do have a general fondness for the series overall because it got me into it. It's inescapable. As much as I hate nostalgia, it gets me a little bit too. But it's more for the series as a whole, where Season 1 I've almost developed a disdain for because just generally it will not go away and it's in our faces and everyone's like, oh my god, the first is the best. So that like jades me. But also, it's really hard to revisit. When I revisited MMPR in any form for a rewatch or whatever, 2 and 3 are okay. If you're in a good nostalgic mood, you can get through it. But Season 1 is painful, it's cheesy, there's no storyline, it's just bad. I don't like it for the most part. And it's remarkable how similar MMPR and Zyuranger are in terms of you can distill them down to largely filler and like 3 plot points, which is the beginning, the Green Ranger, and the ending. Or in MMPR's case, Doomsday, and then a little bit extra stuff until the Oyster Monster. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Not to mention, part of these rankings obviously is about the series, but it's a little bit also I'm trying to consider how they used the theme. And the Dino theme was barely present. The most present I remember it being is at the beginning when Zordon said, like, you're going to be based off of prehistoric creatures. But the Dino theme was incidental. It was just like, yeah, that's what you look like, that's what the suits look like. It's nothing to do with the theme. It's never brought in. That's why I didn't want to include 2 and 3 in it, because you get farther and farther away from it as we do the Thunder Zords and the Ninja Zords. Power Rangers, MMPR was more about setting up the Power Rangers mythology. I might rank it overall higher if I incorporated the whole series and considering all the groundwork it laid, but it's just a Dino adaptation, MMPR Season 1, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Coming in at number 2 is Dino Charge, and I'm considering both seasons as a whole. I thought it would be messy if I did something where it would be like Supercharge and then all of MMPR, and so I'm just going to count it all as one, even though I think the first half being Dino Charge Season 1 is better. Season 1 I think is very solid. After my rewatch I've softened to it more, I'm quite fond of it. Supercharge definitely had the problems of focusing too much on filler, but in terms of a Dino series, I would argue if you're just looking at how they made use of the theme, this was actually possibly the best of them in terms of just the theme, the way they incorporated it in the mythology of the Energems, with Keeper causing the destruction of the dinosaurs, and then ultimately having them be alive at the end, Kendall working at the museum base, Shelby being interested in it. The theme was always present and within the DNA of the show, and even though the show wasn't perfect, I think it was one of the best at incorporating the theme within it, and it gave it a really nice vibe. So for that, I think it deserves more praise than MMPR for just the theme alone. Like I said, it would get kind of messy if I were to split it with Supercharge and rank all of MMPR, but I wanted to keep it simple. Coming in at number 1 for me is Dino Thunder. Now I said how Dino Charge was very good at incorporating the theme, and I think Dino Thunder was as well. I think it's kind of, like all of this, subjective which one you like better. I just like Dino Thunder better overall as a series. I think Dino Charge infused more of the theme into the show, but this infused just the right amount. I just love the series. I think that I've said it before, but it's like an MMPR update done right. Ever since Samurai, Power Rangers has been trying to recapture the MMPR feel, and Dino Thunder did it in the right way, where it had many homages and elements that were clearly, well, homages to MMPR, but it felt like the modern day version of that, updated, done well. One of my top favorite things about the series is that I actually feel like we have flawed Rangers that aren't just like, I volunteer for charity! Like, that's all Rangers for Saban, practically. But these ones actually had flawed characters that we got to watch on their journeys. The Tommy stuff was really cool before we got an oversaturation of nostalgia and returning characters and team-ups. I've said before, I think the series would be great even without him, but it was a great added bonus. I did like the way they incorporated. It was weird that Tommy was a doctor. Still can't believe he's a doctor. I like the way they incorporated that with the teacher being a paleontologist, and you have that element of him working on the science stuff with Mesogog, and Mesogog being this dino creature and wanting to return the Earth to a prehistoric era. not wanting to rule the earth like all the other sickos, gave him a unique motivation that tied into the Dino theme, and that whole element of the science, how it created the Ranger powers and the Mesogog stuff, and how it came to like when they were finding the Dino eggs. It worked the theme in a little bit more of a subtle way than Dino Charge, but I think it worked, and not to mention I think it was a superior series. But that is it for the rankings so far. As always, let me know in the comments, what are your guys' rankings for the Dino-based PR seasons? Always like to see other people's opinions, and of the recent ranking videos, it's been very civil and tame, and I was really expecting to get more hate for not liking G-Ranger, and I'm very pleasantly surprised about that. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell. Get the notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.